No, previously I have not attended an event or a talk or anything to do with the British Indian Army. The Remembrance Dinner would have been the first time that I attended something that was specifically kind of to do with the British Indian Army. I really liked the talk on Friday night, so the three speakers. It was really interesting. It kind of took me back to my university days, not gonna lie, so I liked that. But it was also just very kind of like informal, so I liked how the discussion at the end, they were getting like the kids involved, getting them to ask questions about what they wanted to know about the British Indian Army and everything like that. And the three talks itself was just very different perspectives that you were kind of getting to hear about the British Indian Army about. Yes, I am a history student. I did a lot of my history that I focused on was either South Asian history, so to do with like colonialism, the Mughal Empire, migrating South Asia, and then I did a lot of like medieval Islamic stuff that's not important here. But yeah, so I've done a lot of my essays were actually based on the British Indian Army, from one of my modules and things like that. So I knew about their contribution. The one course I did was very much to do with like decolonization, so it was a different perspective. We didn't focus a lot on like the British Indian Army's contribution to the Western Front or the First or Second World War. A lot of it was focused on Asia, but you obviously you had to know what else was going on, so I had that kind of background knowledge, but it was never so in-depth. So I mean, like with the talks, I was probably learning a lot from it, realistically. Yeah. No, people do not know about the British Indian Army's contribution here in Scotland and the UK. I know for a fact that in both primary school and high school, we always did First and Second World Wars, but it was from the Western perspective. It was nothing, like I probably didn't know that there were South Asian soldiers in the war until I got into uni, and they wanted to look at that side of things as well. And I think it's really important though that we get to know it because it is our shared history. So yeah, but no, I know a lot of people don't know about it because I've been sharing these facts and figures and they've been like, what? I think it's important to know because it's a shared history, and for me it's like, yeah, it gives you another sense of how I am a Scottish Indian, and like my history isn't just the three generations that's my family. So from the 60s of being here in Scotland or in the UK, it's a lot older than that. By knowing that we've had this contribution from the South Asian soldiers, but also everything else that kind of comes with like the wars and everything like that. So it's important, and it's like I feel like with my identity it's always changing the way that I perceive myself and all that kind of stuff, and this is something that's really kind of added to my identity and how I view how I am here. It's such an important part of the UK, the history, the world history realistically, so it's really important to know and to honor it and to respect it, and yeah. More events. Social media is also a huge thing, so I think actually getting those facts, figures, pictures, the fact that these talks go on and that you'll probably be doing it for years and years now, to get it out there and get it into like the schools, I think it's really important. I'm from the south side of Glasgow and it's got a huge South Asian community in it, and like you never do history about like that side of your identity or your background or whatever in history or in like any schools. Like it's always very European history, or yeah, I did the Titanic once, so that was a bit random. Yeah, Yes, definitely. It's kind of part of a lot of people's everydays, and I think if it was a perfect world, that wouldn't be the case. But it's important that we are talking about these issues and how we can maybe tackle it, or how, particularly if you're growing up and you're facing it, if you don't really know how you should react to it. I think that's important that we're talking about it from a young age and not just, once you're maybe in high school or a bit older or whatnot. But yeah, I think it should be something that everybody's doing or talking about. No, I do not. Like I said, I didn't really know much about it until probably I was in university, and that was because I'm a history student. So if anybody else wants to know about it, I don't know who's going to find out about it. But no, I think they need to be doing more, and you need to be learning about it in your primary school, because it's such an important part of all of our histories, and not just from high school or university.